glucose help to build blood volume, I guess is what I was
Yes, it will.
interpreting. So I'm wondering if my glucose is low, if that's has something to do with why my blood volume is low, because the salt isn't helping me.
The glucose will be one part of it. The other part will be the albumin. The other part will be the salt. Okay, all of these are in a mixture together, and they help retain more fluid. You can almost think of it this way: if you have tea and you add sugar to it, okay, at a certain point, the sugar will no longer dissolve, and it will settle out. Okay, but if you add more fluid, it will just go in there. You can redissolve it. So the more minerals you have, the more water or fluid you can hold and retain. Glucose is one of those. Salt is one of those. So when one isn't working, then it must be that the others, the deficiency of the others is too big.
I went to see a nutritionist that was suggested by a doctor, and it was really funny because they fussed at me having POTS that I'm feeding my family too healthy because we're doing fresh fruits and vegetables, and I wasn't doing processed foods and boxed foods, frozen, like frozen meals, because I did the Whole Foods and I mean, even though at that time I wasn't even like I used to be, where I was like frantic about it. So okay, I basically got told I was eating too well because people with POTS are supposed to get so much salt intake that basically processed foods are the only way we're going to be able to do that. I didn't go with that though, really. I mean, I started to, and then I'm like, this doesn't make me feel, I feel stupid doing this, to my family. But I mean, so you're really against that mentality, it sounds like.
Yes, you can eat healthy and you can add salt.
Right.
Okay? No reason to feed your family processed foods.
Can you kind of give me, I'm one of those people who doesn't do salt well, but as far as taking pills, how do you get enough salt in your diet that way if you're not taking salt pills?
Simply sprinkle it on your food. Take your pills, crush them up, put them on your food.
Okay, because I mean, we're supposed to get like 10,000 milligrams of salt.
Yes, that's really, you basically have to eat, what's that, gefilte fish, the salted fish. Okay? Yeah, the dried sardines. You go in the Chinese food stores and you see this fish that's in a box that's so goldish. That would be the only way to get it food-wise, because in our body, okay, we simply, or in food, we simply don't get that much sodium by itself. It's always in balance with potassium and with other minerals as well too. So if you don't like the pills, you simply crush them or you salt your food. And actually 10,000 milligrams, okay, is 10 grams, is basically only 2 teaspoons. Okay? So it's not a whole bunch. And the average American, okay, gets anywhere from 4 to 10,000. A couple of orders of French fries, and you're in. Okay, think about it. If you take 2 teaspoons of salt and you just sprinkle over some French fry, it's soaked up in no time. So you can simply just make it part of your food. That would be the way to cook it. And so for you just have 1 bite of salted potatoes and then 1 bite of regular potatoes.
Well, my daughter complains for times she eats that it hurts her stomach. And I think that's a POTS thing. She'll complain, and like I send really healthy food with her to school. A lot of times she won't eat it. Comes back and she'll eat in the afternoon. I tell her to eat it, and then she's not. But I'm also trying to send salty things too, so I'll send like the Lunchables and things like that, so at least she'll get some salt. It's like you said, like I'm always looking for salt. Okay. Most people will go, ooh, this has too much salt. I'm like, oh, it's salt, So that is a good mentality to look for the salt, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So then what you can do is you can put the salt in applesauce for her, for example. And for her, she may just simply need smaller meals, because what's happening is her digestion goes off when she puts too much food in her stomach, and then she can't function. So she needs smaller snacks to work things through. Okay,
that's what we do with her, but she still complains about it, so it's just kind of
and there may be other reasons why her stomach aches. It may be also that she has allergies going on, okay? The drainage and those things, those will contribute to stomach problems as well. It may be that she has, and school loves to give people cold milk to drink with their meals, okay? That doesn't help sometimes either.
Well,
you-
she only drinks her fluids cold, so I should teach her to drink them lukewarm is better?
lukewarm would be better,
Okay.
yeah.
She'd
Yeah, and
be-
well,
she's like, I want it cold, but yes.
yeah, well, give her cold in between, or
Okay.
just don't give her cold with meals.
Just not with meals,
Okay,
okay.
and give her less with meals. Remember the volume thing? A little bit, okay, that's the thing that will trigger the digestive problems.
Okay.
What are the risks of the sodium just in the, because I notice like a burning, not reflux, but it just, like if I drink a small tomato juice to get the salt, I feel a burning in my esophagus.
And that in part maybe because you've done it so long and you don't have the nutrients to replenish or to rebuild the esophagus. So you have you have a thin lining or a more sensitive lining, and then the acidity of the tomato juice will burn more. So then we go into nutrition, we try to rebuild the tissues. Okay? But that's what's
It seems like when I
going.
go for the saltier foods, it just hurts more.
Yes, because they also shrink things, right? What happens if you stick your hand in salt, you know, they get all wrinkly, all the water. So that's what's happening here as well too. So maybe you're having too much salt at once without not enough food to buffer it. Or maybe you want to have your salt in between meals and chase it with some water, okay? And in that way to where it doesn't pull and tighten up your tissues.
So is that, not to interrupt, but have you tried that fusion stuff? Have you heard of the fusion? It mixes like vegetable juice, but with a fruit juice together.
Oh, yeah,
like
B8.
antioxidant and B8, and it puts it together. Sarah
Yeah.
loves it.
It's got a lot of sodium in it.
And it's got a lot of sodium, but it's
Yeah.
not quite as,
And
As
you
gangy
need
as
the
the
moist,
juice.
more of the moistness of like things like, what are there?
you know how it kind of, you start drinking that
Mangoes,
tomato juice.
apricots, you need the soft fruity things to slide and help things go down. And they're good sources of vitamin A, they go right along.
I got to thinking because there are a lot of vitamins that are water soluble. And if our blood volume's low, I mean, we don't have enough, I'm wondering if we have enough water for those vitamins, if I understand, maybe wrong thinking is to dissolve or.
They will
connect.
dissolve in your stomach,
Okay.
and then will go in, and if the concentration of them is too high in your bloodstream, you will pee them out, and you'll have nice yellow urine.
So there's no relation to.
I would know, I
those-
wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, but the vitamins do better if you have food also, right? That's what your body needs to work. So take your vitamins with food. Taking your vitamins first thing in the morning, right? You might as well, and not eating, you might as well just dump them right away and just save your body the energy. Okay, just eat, always vitamins with food. Always works better.
I don't know if you know this, because being a vitamin kind of, but I was throwing out the salt all the time.
Yeah.
So he took me off salt and he's told me to go get Natmer #9. And they said it's a cell salt. Do you know anything? about
Yeah,
that?
there are cell salts which are a combination, for example, the mine salts, and they have a multitude of different minerals in there. And then people also put things like cell salts together where they try to match the person or a normal humans' mineral balance. So for example, usually the cell salts are made like seawater, so it's concentrated seawater minerals, okay, that's like sea salts, okay, and the cell salts are usually very close to sea salt.
So it's purer than what I would normally get.
It's impure. The
Oh.
pure salt is pure sodium chloride, okay? But if you take sea salt, you will have a whole range of other minerals in there as well too. And it's usually the sea salt is in bigger chunks, so it doesn't dissolve as easy. So whereas regular table salt and the salt tablets, they are in a very, very fine form. They're not in the crystal form, or they dissolve better. Okay? For example, pickling salt dissolves much easier than table salt. And so things like sea salt are good to use, but they take much longer to dissolve because they're in a crystalline structure. And they have a whole range of trace minerals in there. They are, in essence, they would be better.
And I don't get sick as quick because it takes longer to dissolve in the stomach.
Yes, you can claim that, yes. If you have some liquids to dissolve.
And they're called what? Cell? C-E-L-L?
Well, specifically, he said Natmer